What's up? This gonna be my 10 underrated Rick James songs, and not only being from Buffalo, New York, but also just much love, much respect to the greatness that was that man's music. So here are my 10 songs by Rick James that I feel that were underrated. Number one is Dream Maker. That was one of the most smoothest slow jams ever, and I still think that Prince got a lot off of him off of that slow cut. I really do. Because when you hear Dream Maker, you can hear the flourishes and the tones and the phrasing. And and Rick didn't do that often, not in that particular style, but that was a thing of beauty. That was a smooth, slow cut. I mean, I love that song. That came out 40 years ago on his debut Come and Get It album on Motown Records. That was a classic Rick James. Next song is Hollywood. Autobiographical, very deep, very potent. You can feel the urgency, the mood, the tone, and you could tell a lot was weighing on him when he did that song. And Hollywood is a very potent song that talks about the dreams, aspirations. That you could turn that song into like a movie. You could star some people in it. And I still think Terrence Howard kind of favored Rick a little bit. So, if they ever pull that off, Hollywood was a cut. That was a cut. That Rick James was singing on that song. That had a lot of feeling and tone to it. Believe that. Next song is Spacey Love. Patti Bell, Believe No More on the background. Love the tone and feel of that song. Um, just an incredible piece of music. Love the way that song felt. That was a very deep song. Um, Next song is Jefferson Ball. I love the whimsicalness of it. Um, the chord progressions, the tone. His early records, he was singing different things and his styles and the music, and he had so many different counter harmonies that Rick James doesn't get enough due for his creativity as a songwriter. It was, it was through the roof. It was something else. Um, the next song would be "Fool on the Street." Also, off that Bustin' Out album. I love the Santana S Latin percussion thing he does in the middle, the groove, the guitars, the way he heard music and his arrangements, you knew he was a deep cat. I mean, the music was kicking your butt. You know, Rick had some deep stuff that was very potent and very powerful, and that one was a, that one was an incredible piece of music that changed in arrangements and the groove and had structure and it just took on a life of its own. So it had like an African world vibe going on. It was an incredible piece of music. He doesn't get enough due for that one, as far as I'm concerned. Um, Next song, number six, I say "When Love Is Gone" by this breakup. You could tell when Rick was very introspective and he wrote deep songs about relationships and what he was going through. That was a very deep, introspective song. You could feel the guitar, you could feel the vamp. He definitely had a way with the way he was writing about certain songs, and that was one of them that was very deep, very very introspective with that one. Like that one a whole lot. Next one, I think, be number seven would be "Make Love to Me" off the Street Songs album. Narada Michael Walton was on the drums. I love that sax by Danny and the vocals and the harmony. Love the feel and tone of that song. That was like an adult contemporary song that sounded so good. That was really one of them songs where the harmony and the feeling and the lead and the background vocals and the tempo. That song had like an energy to it, and that was the adult side, and that was the truth. Next song happens to be on the album was "Mr. Policeman." Love the reggae kick, the Stevie Wonder harmonica. And the whole thing about how he got into with Steven Spielberg because he didn't like the harmonica part, that was a trip. But Mr. Policeman, if you see what's going on with black folks and these racist cops out here, you ain't got to even question how that song is very potent to today because he nailed it in that song. Rick James, he hit that one on the one. That reggae feel and that tone, and T Marie in the background, that cut speaks to then as it does now. That song came out 37 years ago, and it's still even more now. Think about all what goes down with Black Lives Matter. Mr. Policeman hits. That was a very informative hip song. Respect on Rick on that one. The next song to me would be Happy with him and Tina Marie. Um, Fire and Desire gets all the love and rightfully so, but Happy was incredible whimsical forms of music. And I still remember when he did this on Johnny Carson's show back in um, 82 on piano. He came on the Tonight Show and performed that. And it was a very smooth ballad. And I love the flourishes and the tones of that song. And it is underrated. It was a tight piece of song right there. That was definitely a cut right there that still sounds good. Strong production, and he just having that orchestral thing going on. He got it. He definitely knew what he was doing with that. Next song, Pimp the Simp, when he did that with Grandmaster Flash. Um, Love that song. Very street. Had them Stone City horn vamps. Storytelling. Rick James was one of the most underrated storytellers, and the song talked about prostitute, how she got played and tricked, and again, um, he had songs like this that he spoke on things, and sometimes people just didn't really listen to what he was saying, but he had songs on these records that had some deep storytelling. It was some deep stuff that was real. It was very street, and you could relate to it, like you could feel where he was coming from. Next song, it's probably song 10. And if it's more than that, so be it. Rick's one of my all-time favorites, so whatever. The next song is gonna be Moonchild from the Glow album. Love that song, love the vamp, love that strut of the song, love the harmony, love the feel of it. Bass was nice, the groove was a nice pocket. And it's one of them songs that Rick that it could have easily been hit because Moonchild still sounds good. I mean, it's got that vamp, got that harmony, that haunting tone that he had. That's a certain way he could phrase. Um, that was definitely a type Rick James song. Another song I'm gonna say is Urban Rhapsody, which came out in '97 from self-titled album. When he got out the joint, love the sax, the groove of that song, and the feel of that song. That song was on point, very underrated. That was a sweet song. Another song from that album is Somebody's Watching You. Very, you could be paranoid, but that was like a cut. Love the feel, love the tone, the way he hit on that, the way he spoke on that. That was a cut. That was definitely one of Rick James classics. The last song I'm gonna mention is gonna be Taste, which came off his last record, which came out um, 11 years ago. And Taste, that had old school Rick James feeling and flavor to it. It's got that groove. It's got that vamp to it. You know that Rick James vamp, and you know how he builds on them strings and them horns, and he had a distinctive way he wrote arrangements. So that's my take. My 10 underrated Rick James cuts. Feel free to give whatever you want your take on that. And any artist you feel that I can give 10 to, then remember, they got to have 10 legit songs. They can't have no side collabs or no other stuff. I can point 10 songs out. All right, thank you. Peace.